Paul Green.
Thank you, Mr Assistant President. I rise on behalf of the Christian Democratic Party to speak of the Fair Trading Amendment Fuel Pricing Transparency Bill 2016. This bill aims to amend the Fair Trading Act to provide for a scheme to publish service station fuel prices on an online database of fuel prices. These details of the scheme, such as registration procedures and other technical details, will be set out in the notice to be published in the Government Gazette. An industry working group will be able to comment on the development of the database. The most important part of the bill, Mr Assistant President, is the establishment of the online fuel price board that will require all service stations, that is, all service stations operators, to report their current fuel prices in real time. Mr Assistant President, there are three main factors that determine the price motorists pay at the pump. One is the global crude oil prices, which need to be converted to Australian dollars to account for the currency fluctuations. Two, fuel excise and taxes payable by the petroleum companies. And three, the cost of distribution and the markup at the retail service station. Mr Assistant President, given these factors outside of one's control, it is important that the customers are informed and in control to make their own decisions to reduce the cost of living pressures, particularly with fuel costs. I believe an online fuel price board will do this, and is given it will give some power back to the consumer as well. It will also create healthy competition amongst petrol stations. Who knows, Mr Assistant President, perhaps we might just get cheaper petrol out of this. There are already numerous apps and websites that display fuel price comparisons. However, these are recorded, locked in the day before and then displayed. This bill will allow an app to show real-time updates reflecting the petrol station changes on their physical fuel boards. Mr Assistant President, it is important to note that the service station interface will be free of charge for all service station operators to register and upload price information onto the database. The database will also be free of charge for consumers to search for fuel prices in their local area all over the state. The government has advised that they are looking into local and international software developers to create things like filters for brand, fuel type or other products in the service stations in terms of options, and we look forward to these. Mr Assistant President, I just want to reflect on a couple of other things that people have made in their debates, which I think qualifies us to make comment on it. We constantly, we just recently heard from the Mr David Shoebridge about the donations from Manildra. Can I also just put on the record there were also $4 million from major fossil fuel companies to major parties as well. They also are negotiating for their interests. And I've been here 5 years, and I can tell you we have lots of different people knocking on our door for their own particular interests. And that's what we're here to do, is to hear both sides of the story and work out.
Not to take their money, Paul. Not here to take their money.
In general, we are here to hear the people of New South Wales bring their interests to our office. I didn't say about that. We are here to hear the interest of parties, and there's no doubt that both of those particular interests have given finances over to both major parties. In terms of ethanol, there was a comment about that. There's no doubt that the true labelling at the pump needs to also cross over to this app, that where it says 10% ethanol, it should be 10% ethanol in terms of fuel mix, Mr Assistant President, but we'll talk about more of that later. I do note the Mr David Shoebridge also talk about apps, and I don't know where he's been hiding, Mr Assistant President, but I just looked at my phone, one of my phones, my personal phone, and I have something like about 240 apps on that, doing from social media, weather forecasting, photo editing things, and of course
Tracking Liberals.
Liberal Party tracking, Labor Party, anyway. But Mr 240 apps. The member is saying, you know, who's got time? Well, I tell you, most of those apps are there because they're all there because they save us time. And Mr. Assistant President, how many apps does that member have on his phone? Just one. Probably the Greens Party app, and that's about it.
You've got no idea.
Mr. Assistant President, the point of this is this app will save people all over New South Wales, especially in rural regional area where you do make a decision on service station and which ones you'll go to, because you do learn that they do have fuel cycle prices. Instead of having to drive around to those stations, now the mums and dads and kids can actually surf the app and find out for the parents where the cheapest fuel of that day is going to be. So when they do go into town to grab some groceries and do the farm work, they'll know exactly where to head in terms of which fuel outlet will have the cheapest fuel on that day. So it will be very helpful, I think, for families across New South Wales in many ways. In terms of this bill, Mr. Assistant President, we do congratulate the government on this initiative. It is part, as Mr. David Shoebridge said, part of a package. Part of a greater package, and I want to put on the record, Mr. President, that we have. I did it last night in a German speech on ethanol E10 Manildra. I am unashamed to stand here and try and fight for every regional job we've got, and I don't care if that's in Nowra or in Gunnerdale or up in Manildra itself, if it's in Broken Hill or if it's in Scone, New South Wales, or if it's here in Sydney. I will get up and try and defend as much as I possibly can every job we've got, because I keep saying, Mr. Assistant President, it's much easier to keep a job than to have to create a new one. And boy, do we know we need more new jobs across New South Wales, particularly in regional rural areas. So, Mr. Assistant President, we congratulate the government on this. I do believe this should have been done years ago to create a fairness and transparency in already daunting petrol price war. Commend the bill to the House and look forward to competitive petrol pricing that the consumer will be the beneficiary of. We commend the bill to the House.
Mr.